Hey friends, you are not going to believe this. The clue from last week is about a plant that lives for 120 years. I've been thinking about this week's clue for hours. I need to know, how can a plant live for 120 years?
Well, the good news is we're going to find out today.
Yes, and it's grown 1 meter per day, which is about the length of, say, a skateboard.
Convenient, I have a skateboard right here. And the clue also said it serves as a great protector for those who live around it.
Let's watch the clue video so that we can guess where we're going to before we go on the plane. The next clue tells us that in this country, over 300 million people play table tennis, and they've even won 28 Olympic gold medals in the sport. Wow!
28 Olympic gold medals? Those are some seriously good ping pong players. What was the last clue?
So there's a wall here that spans over 13,000 miles, and it's held together partly by, listen to this, Steve, sticky rice.
13,000 miles?
Yes.
That's like the same distance as driving from Florida to California 7 different times.
7 different times? That is crazy. What a far drive. Does anyone think that they know where we might be going today?
Well, I know sticky rice is an Asian delicacy, and I know there's really only one country that has a 13,000 mile long wall.
Oh, I know exactly where we're going. If you guessed China, you'd be right. Let's head over to the gate, and in the meantime, let's jump into Choi Bay.
Hold on one second. What am I jumping into?
It's Choi Bay. That means worship in Chinese.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. Now I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. In every season, you keep repeating promises to me. Whoa, now there's no stopping what you have started until it is complete. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my when my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. Come on now. Now the stuff is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, and it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. Hands up! This is real love, this is real love. Say this is real love, this is real love. Oh. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. 1, 2, 3, jump! This is real love, this is real love. This is real love, this is real love. Oh.
can just smell the delicious fried rice. I can't wait to have some later.
Did you say we get to eat fried rice on this adventure?
Of course! We can't come to China and not try some authentic fried rice. I am so excited about that.
I know you said that later, but the flight was 16 hours, and you know how I get without food for 16 hours.
Yes. I don't want you to become hangry, so let's just get some now. And in the meantime, why don't we catch up with Juan and see what China's all about?
Let's do it.
Ni hao! That's basically the Chinese way of saying, "What's up, GeoQuesters? I'm Wand Around, the guide for all your global quests. And today you found yourself in the land of the panda bear, the great country of China." Speaking of pandas, bamboo makes up about 99% of their diet. That's basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Can I take your order? I'll have your #1 bamboo meal with extra bamboo on the side, and I'll take a bamboo shake as well. And while the pandas are getting their grub on, the locals will be over here eating sticky rice with their chopsticks made from the rest of the bamboo. Over 50 billion pairs of chopsticks are made each year. That is a lot of chopping. Too bad I don't have any chopsticks handy. I sure could go for some fried rice. Rice is a big part of life here in China, and it's not just a delicious side dish. Little known fact, it's also been holding China's greatest defense together for hundreds of years. The one and only Great Wall of China. But back to food. Rice isn't the only thing they treasure here in the world's most populated country. Among other food delicacies are seaweed and even frogs. I think I'll stick to rice right now. Oh, let's not forget about sports here in China. They may have won 28 Olympic gold medals in table tennis, but that's not even their main sport played on the reg. Other sports include martial arts, such as karate, dragon boat racing, and of course, soccer. Doesn't it seem like all the countries play soccer? Now that you know where you are, it's time you find your souvenir. You can find it at coordinates 40 degrees north, south, east, west, 25 divided by triangle. That's where you'll find it. Did you catch any of that? If not, don't worry. I've loaded them into GeoCube. And never fear, the clue giver is here. Wand Around is coming in hot. Here's what you're looking for. The average weight of one is about 300 pounds, but yours only weighs about 3. It's holding its favorite snack, and it's the color of newspaper. Come back once you found the souvenir. Good luck, questers.
Man, I'm kind of embarrassed. You already finished yours, and I'm gonna be eating this for a while because I don't know how to use these things.
Oh man, this should be good. What could we possibly take back that's about 3 pounds and holds its favorite snack?
At first, I thought it would be fried rice. I would have loved to have some more of that. But then the clue said that they would be holding their favorite snack.
Me too. And he did say that it's about 300 pounds. So that would have been a lot of fried rice. But then he said ours would be only 3 pounds. And it's supposed to be black and white.
And it's holding its favorite snack? Wait a minute. Pandas are black and white. And their favorite snack is bamboo. He said that in the last video.
That's true. Pandas are so cute. Did you know that pandas do not hibernate like bears?
I actually didn't know that. One thing I do know about pandas is that they hide in the forest and they're very defensive.
They're such great protectors and defenders.
Do you know who is the greatest protector and defender?
Well, God, of course.
He sure is. In this series, we've learned so many different ways that God is present in our lives. He has so many names. Today we get to learn about how he is our defender.
That's awesome. So let's check back in with Juan to find out what it means to be a defender.
P-A-N-D-A, bear. Panda bear, panda bear, panda bear. You found the panda bear. Great job, questers. There was no bamboozling you, and now you have your very own bamboo bear to take home with you. Look, it's even holding its favorite snack. You know, bamboo isn't just a tasty treat for pandas. It also makes a great place to live, which is a little crazy because they're basically eating their houses. Pandas are able to hide in the shadows of bamboo forests and be practically camouflaged. It can also be used to defend them from harmful predators. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pandas with bamboo lightsabers? Not exactly. The bamboo is more like a wall to defend them. It's like their very own edible Great Wall of China. We all need a little protection from time to time, but do you know who always has our back and is the greatest defender of all? God. In the Bible, there's a story about two kings who were at war. There was a really bad dude, the king of Aram, and a really good dude, the king of Israel. The king of Aram was pretty bad to the bone, and he would make all kinds of plans to attack God's people, the Israelites. But what he didn't know was that there was a prophet named Elisha who was getting the inside scoop from God. Not like text messages with all the memes and emojis, but he was legit hearing God speak directly to him, telling him the exact moves the king of Aram was planning. You better believe Elisha did not keep those messages to himself though. He went straight to the king of Israel to tell him what's up. This happened a bunch of times, and it made the king of Aram so mad. For example, if King Aram's army went north, the Israelite army knew and went south. If they ordered chicken, God's people ordered burgers. Okay, well, maybe not that last part, but it was like the Israelites could read his mind. But how? The bad king sent for his army guys and demanded they fess up and tell who was destroying their plans. One of them spoke up and told them about Elisha, who was telling the king of Israel everything that was going on. This was not okay with the king, so he devised a plan to get rid of Elisha once and for all. That night, the bad king sent horses and chariots and a strong army to surround the city where Elisha was staying. Early in the morning, Elisha's servant went outside and saw the army everywhere he looked. Soldiers were surrounding them and the city. Elisha's servant began to freak out, and he ran to Elisha asking what they should do. And you know what Elisha did? Do you? Get this. He prayed. And wouldn't you know it, the servant's eyes were open to see that they were surrounded by another army, God's army, with horses and chariots made of fire. And you know who came through to defend them? That's right, the big G-O-D, God. And that's not all God did. He made the enemy army blind. They couldn't see anything anymore. Lights out. The army was so confused that they went up to Elisha to ask him where they could find Elisha. He was able to trick them though, and he led them straight toward the Israel army. And when they got there, Elisha prayed to God to open their eyes. They were so confused when they realized where they ended up. And you would think that they were in big trouble, but no. Elisha told the king of Israel to whip up something special for the enemy army to eat, like the most epic feast ever. But for the bad guys? Yup. So that's what they did. And after their bellies were stuffed, the king sent them on their way. And surprise, 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 the king of Aram and his army didn't bother God's people for a long time. God had defended them once again. You may not realize it, but God defends you too. He has so many names, and defender is a powerful one that can give you courage no matter what you're facing. We may not be able to see God or his angels, but they're real and they're always around. There is nothing we need to fear because God is our defender. Well, that's all I got today for my pro-questionators. China's been fun, but it's time to catch that Panda Express on out of here. See you next time.
Elisha prayed to God and asked for God's protection for him and the people of Israel.
God did so much. He made the enemy blind. God showed up in a huge way for his people.
And God defends you too. That brings me so much courage knowing that he is there with us no matter what.
We don't have to fear or be scared about things because all we have to do is turn to God and he is right there with us.
God is our greatest defender. Another thing that caught my attention was the way that they treated the enemy army.
Oh yeah, what a great example of God's mercy. Instead of confronting them and saying, you guys are in big trouble, Elisha told the king of Israel to prepare a huge feast.
And after all of that, they didn't bother God's people for a long time.
I'll tell you what, all this talk about how good our God is has made me in a really good mood. I think it's time to play our Spot the Difference game.
Don't you mean a Yossi?
A what?
A game! A Yossi. Yossi, you're gonna like it. Man, I really like the Spot the Difference games.
Sometimes it can get confusing because they're so similar, but there's small differences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what else is really similar?
Me and Superman?
No, silly. Elijah and Elisha.
Didn't you just say the same name?
Nope. I understand why you think that, but they're actually two different people.
Well, where can I spot the difference?
Very funny, but they were actually both prophets that performed many miracles.
Gabby, what's a prophet?
So a prophet is a teacher that proclaims the will of God.
Wow, Elijah and Elisha sound like pretty cool guys.
They were, and we're just scratching the surface on how much we can learn from them. Here, check out this video.
God told the prophet Elijah to find a man named Elisha. Elisha would be a prophet to Israel after Elijah. So Elijah obeyed God. He found Elisha plowing a field, and Elisha followed Elijah and served him. When the time came for the Lord to take Elijah up to heaven, Elijah and Elisha traveled to Gilgal. At Gilgal, Elijah said, "Elisha, stay here. The Lord is sending me to Bethel." But Elisha said, "As long as you are alive, I will not leave you." So they went together to Bethel. At Bethel, Elijah said, "Elisha, stay here. The Lord is sending me to Jericho." But Elisha said, "As long as you are alive, I will not leave you." So they went together to Jericho. At Jericho, Elijah said, "Elisha, stay here. The Lord is sending me to the Jordan River." But Elisha said, "As long as you are alive, I will not leave you." So they went together to the Jordan River. A crowd of prophets watched Elijah and Elisha as they stood by the river. Elijah rolled up his cloak and hit the water with it. The river parted and they crossed to the other side. Elijah asked, "Is there anything I can do for you before I go?" Elisha said, "I want a double portion of the Spirit that you have." Elijah said, "If you see me go, you will have it." Suddenly, a chariot of fire with horses of fire appeared and drove between them. Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elisha watched as Elijah went away. Then he picked up Elijah's cloak and went back to the river. He hit the water and it parted for him to cross to the other side just as it had for Elijah. The crowd of prophets was there watching, and they saw that the spirit that was with Elijah was now with Elisha. The prophets searched for Elijah, but they could not find him since God had taken him up to heaven. God gave Elisha the same spirit that was in Elijah, so Elisha could carry out his mission as a prophet. Years later, Jesus told his followers to wait for the Holy Spirit. God gives believers the Holy Spirit so they can share the gospel with the world.
It is so cool that even though we cannot see God, He is defending us and fighting for us, just how He did with Elisha and Elijah.
Yes, that is because God is our defender, and we can always count on Him to go before us and protect us in everything that we do.
That's right! You know, when I'm going through something tough and I feel like I just want to give up, I will always remember that God is always fighting for me.
Yeah, we can trust Him to defend us in the good and the bad. And that brings us to our need to know for the day. KE Travel Buddies, stand up right where you are and repeat after me.
All right. God is my defender.
My defender.
You know, that was really good, but let's say it all together this time.
God is my defender.
That was fantastic. Now it's time for us to say it all in Chinese.
What? My travel translator only has a few words in it.
I'm just kidding. KE friends, stay standing as we go over our Bible verse. We're almost at the end of the series, so I hope you guys have it down already.
Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek for you. Psalm 9:10. Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek for you. Psalm 9:10. Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek for for you. Psalm 9:10.
I was lost with a broken heart. You picked me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again, forever safe in the Savior's hands. You were more than my words could say. I follow you, Lord, for all my days. Fix my eyes, follow in your ways. Forever free in unending grace. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. In the midst of the darkest night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down and set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom come. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. You are my freedom. We lift you higher. You are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Man, what a blast that we've had today. So many laughs and so much learning. Let's put that knowledge to good use and go over our questions for the day. Our first question is, what are some ways that God defends us, his people?
Our second question is, do you think that God is working even when you cannot see him?
And our final question is, why does God defend us?
In this series, we've learned so much about how God is always here for us. Let's turn to Him right now and pray together.
Dear God, thank you so much for showing us more about who you are. We are so thankful that you are our defender.
Thank you for loving us, protecting us, and going before us in everything that we do. Help us to remember that we can trust you in all circumstances. We love you. Amen.
I think that China has been my favorite country yet. We've had the opportunity to eat such good food, learn about pandas, and best of all, learn how God is our defender.
Remember, KE friends, God will always be with you. When you're going to school, when you're at sports practice, when you're taking a hard test at school, and even when you hang out with your friends. He will defend you in any situation that comes across.
Shida, which means yes.
I love all the Chinese you picked up on our trip.
Me too. I can now say a few words in Chinese. Well, Steve, I know how competitive you can get, and I have a challenge for you.
Oh boy, Gabby. You know I can't speak Chinese. Are you gonna challenge me to a Chinese spelling contest?
No, not that, but I am going to give you these here.
Ooh, I know what we're gonna do. A chopstick fencing competition?
No, not quite, but you'd win at that for sure. I eat Chinese food quite often, so I thought that we could take advantage of this. We'll both have 2 chopsticks, and we will get to stack jumbo marshmallows on top of one another, and the person to get the most wins. But the catch is we can only use one hand.
Man, I totally thought I was gonna be able to cheat with 2 hands. I got this one in the bag though, I think.
Man, that was such a fun game. KE friends, if you have chopsticks at home and some marshmallows, then I challenge you to play this game. But remember, you can only use one hand.
That was a lot of fun, especially because I won. Well, KE friends, it's time for us to head back to the United States. We'll see you on our next adventure.
Bye!